Okay. That's enough Fleetwood Mac for now. If anybody recognized uh, the artist there. Hello. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Let me know. Let me know where you're from in the chat. Zeplin is a big global community, so we have over 5 million users, and usually you guys are from all over the world. So let me know where you're from. Looks like we have a nice, small, intimate group today, so we'll have a chance to answer any and all of your questions, which is good. Yeah, Carol from Nashville. Ooh, I've been in Nashville. I like it a lot, actually. There's a good good music scene there, obviously. A lot of fun bars down there too. Yeah, Brooklyn. Edwin from Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn too. I was just in New York, actually, a couple weeks ago, Boston, New York, and I was in LA too. Stephanie from the UK. Hope you're enjoying the World Cup. Okay, and some people from California too. We're based in San Francisco, so close by. Detroit, very nice. Oh, Czech Republic. All right. Yes. Okay. Cool. Well, let's start sharing my screen here. But good to meet you all. Good to see you. Yeah, it's always nice to see where folks are from. Sometimes we get some people from Asia, from India, and India is about 13 hours ahead of Pacific time. So it's usually quite impressive when we get some people over there that are joining in at 10:30, 11 p.m. Very impressive, but good to meet you all. Just some Zoom logistics before we start. I'm sure everybody nowadays is very familiar with Zoom and how it works. But just so you know, if you have a question, you can put it in the Q&A. So you'll see that on the little Zoom footer. And you can put it in the Q&A, and that way I know that you have a question, that I can answer it. And maybe we can keep the chat to other things that aren't questions. So if you do have a question, put it in the Q&A, and I'll try to get to it. Cool. So I think we're about ready to start here. Hey, Josh. Good to see you. All right, so one other item that I want to talk about just before we get started is we do have a Discord community, and I'll put it in the chat here. This is where we talk about everything that's concerning the community. Me and Josh will answer questions that you might have, or other people in the community will answer questions that you might have as well. So I would highly recommend you joining our Discord. You can see here that we have some activity going on there. But it's just a place to share what you're working on, what other people are working on, to learn from others. And I think really what we love to see in our Discord and in Zeplin in general is that we love to see, people sharing their stories, people helping each other out. So obviously me and Josh can help you, but the people that are working day in and day out in Zeplin and have those, kind of special, unique use cases, those are the ones that we want you to share with others so that everybody can up level. And really the pros here are you guys, because you're using it every day. So hop in there, join, and we can all help each other out. Cool. Okay, so for this webinar today, we're going to overview some of our most recent releases. This will include global search. It'll include nested sections, and then we'll also overview stage mode 2 today. Like I said, if you have any questions during the course of the webinar, just put them in the Q&A, And we do have a small group today, so I think I'll be able to answer most all of them. The webinar should take about half an hour, so we should be done at the top of the hour here. Okay, great. So let's get started here. So this is Figma. I'm sure many of you are familiar. And if you're working in Sketch, I'm sure you've heard of Figma, or if you're working in Adobe XD, I'm sure you've heard of Figma too. So this is Figma. And I want to start by kind of polling the people here. When you're accessing your design file, sometimes you'll look at it and you're working on all these different files here, but sometimes you're just working. You're looking for one particular screen, right? Say I'm looking for this wish list screen, but I have all these files, right? Does it happen to you guys where you forget exactly where that screen is? Like, the screen you're looking for, it's this wish list one, but you just don't really know what file it's in. You're like, shoot, where did I put that thing? Like, I was just working on it a couple weeks ago, my wish list screen. I know it's in one of these files, but I don't know which one it's in. Does that happen? Yeah, Edwin, yes. Denise, 100%. Yeah. I mean, look, we're human, right? So our memory is not perfect. So we hop into our design file, we're working on all these different projects, and we're like, where is that dang screen that I was working on? You can't find it. So there is this search functionality in design tools and in Figma. But one of the problems that we face here is this will only search the names of our files. So here we have our Stack Overflow that are popping up. We have some of our files that are popping up. But also we have these community files. But I don't want the name of the file. I want that screen that I was working on, right? So how do I get that? Well, what I can do is I can hop into one of my files and I can search within that file. Okay, that helps me, right? So I can search wish list. And I'm like, this is a wish list, but it wasn't that plant app. It wasn't the plant app wish list that I was looking for. It's actually a different one, right? And it might be in actually a different file, but here when I'm searching, it's only searching all the contents of this particular file and not other ones in Figma. So I go back and I'm like, okay, wait, I think it's actually in this Stack Overflow one here. So it loads and I search wish list and I'm looking, I'm like, no, it's none of these. Okay, it's actually, I think, in a different page. And I know it's a frame, so I'll filter based on that. Okay, actually, here it is. I found it. So this is the screen that I'm looking for right there. But as you noticed, it was kind of difficult to find it. Outside of files, I can't search within files. And actually from within files themselves, I can't search other files, right? So it's just kind of time consuming for me to, look around in all of my different files and all of my pages when I'm just searching for this one screen here. So I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but Ashwini, yes, it happens so many times if the naming convention is not used properly. Yeah, that's right. I mean, naming convention can be another issue, right? Maybe the screen is a named wish list. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I can't find this thing. It's driving me nuts. I feel like Seinfeld when I talk like that. But yeah, basically screens are more difficult to find than they should be, right? And, we had heard this a bunch at Zeplin that in design tools, this search functionality wasn't exactly up to par. It wasn't exactly what it should be. And so people had requested that we create some new functionality that would allow people to more easily find the things that they were looking for. And so that's how global search came about. And so this is Zeplin here, just in case you're not familiar. I know many of you are new to Zeplin, actually. So this is the workspace view, and it has all of our projects here. These are kind of similar to the files that we were looking at in Figma. And you might notice in the upper right-hand side, if you've been using Figma, or if you've been using Zeplin and Figma, that we have this new search bar, and it says search our workspace. When I hover over it, it tells me that I can Command K, and this pops up global search. So now, if I want to find that wish list, and if I can spell it right, I can actually see, oh, boom, I'm outside of my projects, I'm outside my files, but this is actually searching all those files for that particular screen. And there's that wish list that I was looking for right there. And it pops up instantly. So I can just I can click it and I can navigate directly to that screen that I was looking for. So it might seem simple, but if you're working on tons of different projects, tons of different files, and like I said, we're fallible, right? We're people. We forget where those screens are, and you don't know where it is. Then searching all these different files, all these different pages, can actually be time consuming when you do it over and over and over again, right? That time, it might be a little at the start, but it builds up a lot. So global search is a quick way to navigate from outside your files into your files to find what you're looking for. Great. Does anybody have any questions about that? I know I said put things in the Q&A, but I am looking at the chat a lot. So if you really want to, you can put questions in the chat. It's going against my golden rule, but I'll allow it. Can we see thumbnails in universal search result? So I assume, Ashwini, you're talking about when I search for this wish list full, does a thumbnail of this screen pop up? Is that what you're asking? Yes. Okay. Dang, I'm good, huh? So if I go back here and I Command K, you'll see when I search, I don't get the actual thumbnail, Ashwini, but it'll tell me, hey, this is a screen. This is the type of asset that you're looking for here. But no, you don't get the preview. I will say, and I'll show you in a little bit, Ashwini, there is a way to, give feedback to me, to our product team. And if a thumbnail is something that you'd want to see, you can actually send feedback directly to our product team and to others, talk about your use case, and we'll see if we can build that for you. I'll show you that later. Okay. Great. So we've shown how we can search from with outside files in them. But the other problem that we had is when we're in a particular project, so here we're our iOS app comp. What if I want to search other projects, right? What if I want to jump from this project to a screen that's in a separate project? Well, you can do that as well. So here I'm going to search market, and you can actually sort this a couple different ways. You can sort by relevance. So this might be how well the search term is actually matching. We'll actually move results closer to the top if they're in your project. So when I search market, what Zeplin will do is we'll first go through all the screens that are in that project, and we'll surface them to the top when you're searching by relevance. And that's one of the ways that we do it there. Created is obviously just when you created that particular screen. And then last update would be, when is that last changed? So we're going to do last updated. And now you can see that I'm actually in a different project. Right? So not only can I search from outside of projects in them, but if I'm in a single project, I can hop to a different one. And basically the navigation of Zeplin, the ability to move to different places quicker, it just allows me to be a little bit more efficient, a little bit less monotonous, going through all those steps of finding what you're looking for. And I can quickly go and I can find what I'm trying to find. Okay, Suzanne, thumbnails would be super helpful. Okay, noted. So Suzanne, you can also send us some feedback. That'd be great as well. And it looks like Josh has got Lindsay covered for now. Thanks, Josh. Okay. So the final thing I want to show about global search is, you can find screens, but you can also find flows. You can find components and pretty much anything else in Zeplin. And one of the coolest ways that I think you can use global search is actually to find comments that say you're mentioned in. So a lot of times when we're working on designs, we know we were having this conversation. We don't really remember what it was about, but I was like, I know they tagged me in it. It was important and I really have to do it. Don't remember where it was, but I really got to get to this thing. Like, how do I find that, right? Well, with global search, you can just search your tag here and it'll pop up comments or annotations. I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, I think this is the one that I am looking for. Yes, it is. Okay, now I remember. This is a screen that we were talking about. We wanted to add an animation to this little hand here that it waves when people click it, a little bit of an Easter egg. Okay, now I remember. But it makes it easy to find that comment that otherwise I wouldn't have known exactly where it is. And here is a classic GIF of Tom Hanks. I think this is from Castaway. Is this Castaway? Does anybody know? I think this is Castaway, right? This GIF is like all over the internet. Oh, no, it's not. Forrest Gump. But he's like, isn't he on the ocean here? It doesn't really look, yeah, it doesn't have a beard and stuff, right? So I guess it's not. Josh is even correcting me. Okay, Forrest Gump. I'm sorry, everybody. I guess I should have done some shrimp boat. That's right. Yes. Okay, yeah. Like a box of chocolates. He's waving to Lieutenant Dan. Okay. I'm just completely out of touch. I shouldn't have added this. I should have picked a different GIF, clearly. I'm way out of my depth. Okay. Great. So yeah, that's global search. It's just an easy way to find everything that you're looking for. Whereas, in your design tool, it might be a little more difficult. Okay. Looking at the time, we might just go a little bit over. I know I scheduled this for about 45 minutes. It looks like we're probably going to go just a little bit over the hour, but we can keep chugging here. Getting distracted by Forrest Gump. Alrighty. So that was global search. Let's talk about nested sections. So from within our workspace here, we're going to hop into a single project. And you can see here that I have a couple sections. I have my market, my wish list that we were looking at, onboarding, blah, 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 all the way down to authentication. And if you're not using sections, I highly suggest you do. It's basically an easy way to organize all of your screens into the different parts of your application. And it not only makes it easy for you to understand, but also for others too. So design tools can be confusing for developers or marketers, and sections in Zeplin just make it easily consumable for other members of the team to understand how the app is actually organized and what delineates these different pieces, the different features of your app. Cool. So let's look at authentication down here. And one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we were getting at Zeplin ever since we created sections was that people wanted different levels of sections. They wanted this kind of hierarchical control of sections. And one of the reasons that people wanted that is that sometimes there's kind of this umbrella section that comprises these other smaller pieces of it. So for example, under authentication, we have this sign up and we have a login piece. So here you can see our sign up, and we have a couple different states here. You can see this is how you get started in our Stack Overflow app. Or if you're already signed up, then we have a couple different options for you to sign back in with Facebook, Google, Apple. And we have an empty state here, and then one with Steve Donato. And the password is "have you ate today?" I didn't design these screens, but clearly someone was having some fun when they did. But the point being that under authentication, you kind of have these two different pieces, right? You have sign up or you have login. But before, there was no way to show that hierarchical structure, except for now with nested sections. So I can create a nested section here on the left-hand side by clicking this little blue bar. And when I click it, it'll give me two options. It'll say, do I split this on the same level, or do I create a subsection? Same level will basically create another section, whereas a subsection will create what we're calling nested sections. So let's do that. So boom, there we go. And we can label this our sign in. And I'll just show you another way to create a subsection. You can drag and select, and then you can create a subsection here. And this will be sign up with two N's. Okay, cool. So you might notice these bars on the left-hand side. It's just an easy way to visually recognize the structure of your sections. So here I can see my authentication bar is kind of encompassing this sign up and this sign in. And I can quickly click these bars to collapse them. And I can do the same with authentication if I want to. So now when I look at this section, I know that it's comprised of these two different pieces, right? This sign up and this sign in. I can also reorder them from this little elevator on the left-hand side. So if I hover over it, it'll pop up, and I can just quickly reorder them like that. Similar to sections too, I can copy links to a nested section, a subsection, and share just that single piece with my entire team. So there you go. Does anybody have any questions about nested sections? Once again, I think the interesting thing here is there's kind of a beauty in the simplicity of these features, but also the how powerful they can be, right? Like it's intuitive, but just being able to break these different pieces up easily and quickly organize them, it can really improve your team's workflow. Oh, Matthew, big question here. Can you make a nested section inside a nested section? This man here has seen Inception, I believe. So yes, you can. And I should mention that, Matt, thanks for telling me. You can actually create 3 levels of nested sections. So here we have 2, 1, 2, and we can actually create a third here. So we allow for up to 3. We decided on 3 just based on the visual organization of these subsections. We felt that if it got any more than 3, it could become, a little convoluted. So we stopped at 3, but obviously, Matt, if you or others want more, then let us know, and that's something that we can think about in the future too. So yes, you can create more than one there, Matt. Okay. Great. So that's nested sections right there. Fantastic. All right. The last piece that I want to talk about today is called stage mode. And we looked at our wish list. We looked at authentication. Maybe we can check out a different screen in our onboarding flow. So stage mode. Who here does design reviews? It's probably most of you, right? Yes, Matt does design reviews. Is Matt the only one? Every day. That's right. Yeah, so design reviews are super important for people's workflow, right? It allows you to validate what you've actually created with your peers, with your manager. Sometimes it'll be with people that are even higher. For example, in Zeplin, actually, our co-founder and CEO will actually review the designs. Palin, she's a designer by trade, obviously. So she'll actually still do design reviews with the team. So design reviews are important, right? It allows you to get that validation, that feedback. It allows you to iterate your designs. And in something like an onboarding flow, it might allow you to figure out, hey, what's the optimal click path for this particular screen, right? Is the UX here optimized? Say you want people to create this bundle, but maybe there's something wrong with clicking this coffee, like it's not visible enough. You want to share that with your peers, get feedback, and then make sure that people are actually doing what you want them to in your application. So that's great. And a lot of people actually use Zeplin for design reviews. But one of the issues that we heard about is that when you're in this screen view in Zeplin and you're clicking around, what you get on the right-hand side is a lot of information, even on the screen too. So you get information about whether or not this is a component. You get information about the bounding boxes here and whether or not this is a parent. You're getting information about auto layout, and you're getting the code snippets and the color information, and you're like, oh, I don't need all this stuff. I'm just trying to figure out what's the optimal click path for this screen. Like a developer will need the CSS, but right now, I don't really need that. I just want to focus in on this screen with me and my team. So we'd heard that, and now you can do that. So here in the upper right-hand side, you can click this stage mode icon. And that'll pull up our web app. And here in stage mode, what you get is a view that has no frills. It doesn't have any of that technical information like the specs, the assets, the code snippets, the auto layout, the components. It doesn't have any of that stuff. It's just the screen that you can look in this clean view and overview it with, say, your manager. When you hover over the top, you do get some options, so you can toggle between the different screen variants or screen states. You can change the screen either here or with the arrow keys. You can share it, and then you can add comments too. Cool. So basically stage mode is, that way that you have that no frills view. You can focus in on the UX, on the UI, and you don't need to be distracted by all that, all that other information there. So Matt, hopefully in your day-to-day design reviews, this can help you, uh, just not be confused or have all that other extraneous information. Okay, let's see. So Matt's asking, is there a way to have a client design review like you can have in Adobe XD, allowing the client to click on the buttons to go over the screens? Okay, so Matt, you're talking probably more about something like prototyping, is that right? Where you can see actually how yes, okay, how actually the application is behaving. So in Zeplin, we do have what's called hotspots. So if I hold shift on this view, you'll see this little blue overlay comes up, and I can click that and it'll take me to the screen that is connected to that particular hotspot. But as far as seeing, say, like the animations of the screen, how things change on it, those are best left probably for your design room, your design tool as of now. So you can see, where the screens are moving. Yeah, but you can't see those, in-depth animations that you get, say, in prototyping in your design tool. Okay. All righty. So that's stage mode. So we overviewed some of the most recent releases. We looked at global search, allowing you to more quickly find what you're looking for. We looked at nested sections, a way to apply more hierarchy to your sections. And then we looked at stage mode, a way to get rid of all the technical specs, all the extraneous information, and just focus in on your design reviews. We do have a little bit of time, so if you have a question, let me know. If not, I'm just going to put the Discord in the chat one more time. I'll be there in there answering questions for about another half an hour. So if you want to hop in there, if you want to meet the community, if you want to chat with me, with Josh, we'll be in there to answer any and all of your questions. Great. So that's it for me today. That's all I had. I'll stay behind just to answer a few questions or two, but nice to meet you all. Good to see you. And yeah, hope you have a good day.